Anthony Hartwig, Ty Bartell, and we are here with another softball preview brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown on Running Point. We are joined by Spencer Bendle, the head coach of Edison softball. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Well, thank you for inviting me. Appreciate it.
Coach, what we always like to do with all of our area coaches, we always give them the opportunity to shout out and give us a Meet the Team segment here. So I want to give you the opportunity to shout out your returners for this season, as well as some new faces in the Wildcats softball program to be excited about.
Okay, good. We were fortunate enough. We return a lot of ball players. I think we have 11 returning letter winners. So that's good for the season. Hopefully the experience of last year and everybody coming back. Only lost 3 seniors from last year's team. So hopefully that's going to be a benefit to us this coming season.
Coach, with so many players returning, I imagine the focus this year is to kind of build off last year and continue the steps that you took last year. What kind of things do you want this team to learn from last year's season that they carry into this year's season?
Well, the main thing is we got to finish. I thought we had a very successful year. We played some really quality teams and won a good many of those games and had a strong season overall. It just our big conference tournament, we got to the OVAC championship there, and it was right in the ball game. We just didn't finish it late in the game in the 6th and 7th innings, and the same thing happened in our district tournament game. We won our sectionals and was playing well in the early parts of the game against Tusky Valley in our district game, and we were 5 outs from winning that ball game, and we just didn't finish, and actually collapsed a little bit in that ball game. So I think the motto or the thought for this year is be consistent, work hard, take every game as an important game, and finish when it comes to the end.
Kind of adding on to that one, Coach, too, and just looking at the squad you mentioned a lot of returning players. What do you see this team's identity kind of being going into this season?
Well, that's interesting because last year, I think when I talked with you all, I thought our pitching depth was going to be the strength of our team, and as that season went on, our pitching didn't hold up quite as well as we had hoped. So we've got all of our pitching back. We've got our battery back, a combination of 2 or 3 catchers. So our whole infield is basically back. So it should be a plus for us. Hopefully we can build off of last year with that and be a little bit stronger defensively and in the circle as well.
Yeah, talk about in the circle. You got all your pitchers coming back. Shout out your pitchers and what they each bring and how they kind of complement each other.
Well, our main starter last year come tournament time was Katie Fluharty, and she's a big, strong girl and has a lot of velocity. After Katie, we've got Becca Evans, who can spot the ball real well and can change speeds a little bit. And I think that's going to be a good 1-2 punch with that. A couple other girls that we have that we can go to, I think this year is a sophomore, Presley Meadows. She can move the ball around and do a good job of spotting the ball, hopefully this year. And probably her sister, who's a senior this year, she didn't get the pitch last year due to she had a labrum problem with her shoulder, so she was kind of delegated to just play some second base for us. So and she fought through that season with that shoulder injury. Hopefully she'll be strong enough to pitch some innings. Who has some good movement on the ball and some velocity as well.
Coach, let's talk about this conference schedule that's ahead of you two, and what's it going to take to get a piece of this conference crown and get into it, and what are going to be some of the challenges that stand in your way?
Well, I felt last year that we had a very competitive schedule, and I thought it was going to be a benefit to us as we got to the month of May, the last of April there with our conference. And I think due to the weather and all, we lost some of those games and didn't get to play some of the teams that had the real strong pitching that I thought would prepare us for the postseason. Hopefully this year's schedule does that. I've said this many times to many people that have talked to me about the season, is that I really think this schedule this year is probably the toughest schedule that we've had since probably 2008. Just the quality of teams that we have on the schedule and the depth and roster that they have coming back is going to be very challenging for us. And we're not just going to be able to go out there and play good and win. We're going to have to play really strong, really good ball, and still maybe come up on the short end of some ball games.
And you said it, with a schedule like that, there might be some games that you kind of come up on the short end. How are you going to try to keep your team confident through this tough schedule and let them you kind of celebrate the small victories in each game and try to take confidence whether they win or lose out of these games that are against really tough teams?
Yeah, that's going to be one of the things we're going to have to do, and especially in the circle, because you don't want the girls to take the ball in the circle and not be confident with what they're doing out there, or confident with the players they got playing behind them. So it's going to be a test for us mentally, and that's one of the things I think that we've got to build on, is we got to be mentally a lot tougher than what we were last year.
Looking at the team too, and just the growth you've seen and all the returning ball players, what would you say the team culture of the Edison Wildcats is for the softball team? And in other words, I guess if we were to ask some of your leaders, your senior and upperclassmen leaders for the team, what it means to be a Wildcat at the end of the day, what would you hope they would say?
Thank you. I think it's basically, expect to win. There's an expectation here, and everybody works towards that. I think we've got good chemistry on this team. I think it's going to be better than what we've had maybe in the last couple of years. We've got some great student athletes here, and they're good community people as well. And I think that's what Edison's all about in terms of our softball program, is we got great kids, great students, and kids that are willing to work hard.
And you touched upon it. Talk about the community that you guys play with, and how much the community support means to you guys, and how much this community does back up the softball program.
Well, the biggest thing right now is our new athletic facilities here that our community voted a bond issue on and passed it, and it was basically for new athletic facilities right here on campus at our high school, because for decades now we've had to travel down to Jefferson State Lake to play our softball and baseball games. Well, now we've got probably some of the best facilities around. We've got new all-turf baseball and softball field right here at our high school, and it's going to be exciting to open up the season and to be able to play in those facilities. We've got the best facilities for baseball and softball, and that's something that we've got to work to uphold and hopefully play as well as the facilities are here.
Beautiful facilities, and I mean great cultures on both the baseball and softball teams of success and winning. Talking about this coaching, Coach, what brings you into coaching this team every year, and what keeps you coming back to it? Where do you have that love for coaching, and do you kind of feel the pressures year in and year out to kind of uphold that success that this team and this culture has set?
Yeah. Well, we've had great softball here, before I came into the program. We had Dave McConnell and Dave Grimm as the coaches in the early years of Edison South and Edison, and they built something here that has been a very high standard, and it's been a challenge for all of us to uphold that standard and try to build on it. And over the 24 years that I've been here now, that our schedule gets tougher, the wins get harder, but I think we've got a good program here, and I think it's something that all of our kids are proud of. The wins and losses, they take care of themselves, and we're just trying to do stronger in the postseason and try to get back to some regionals that has been eluding us here lately.
Coach, we know that the head coach gets all the interviews, they get all the praise, but we know that you have a great staff behind you. I want to give you the time to highlight the people that work with you and the staff that kind of make this program what it is behind you.
Yeah, I've been fortunate that I've had some great people work for me over the last 20 some years, and the ones I've had here in the recent 4 or 5 years have been with us. And two of the young ladies have come up through the program, and so they know what those expectations are. That's Lindsay Morrison and Michaela Tice. Both of them were players for me coming up through, and I've decided to join the Edison staff here as teachers and faculty and coaches, and done a great job in instilling to the kids, what the expectations here are. My varsity assistant, Jeremy Maddox, he's been with me for about a half a dozen years now, and not only is he, my assistant softball coach, but he's also been assistant boys basketball coach, who's now the head boys basketball coach. So we got some hardworking people that not only work in terms of softball, but they work in all around for our student athletes.
You guys get tremendous support too from the community, but for anyone that might be living under a rock in the Edison community, shout out your first game and when the Edison Wildcat faithful can catch the Lady Wildcats on the softball field.
Yeah, we open up on Monday the 28th versus East Liverpool. That's one of our league opponents, and then from there we go to West Virginia and play perennial power John Marshall, who is in the state tournament every year in West Virginia. So those are our first two opponents, and looking forward to getting started here. We've got a few scrimmages here this week to try to fine tune some things and get prepared, and hopefully we have a nice spring.
The countdown is set. There's 7 days until the first game, Coach. We thank you so much for joining us. We wish you all the best of luck this season, and with the success that you guys have, we know that we'll talk to you again real soon.
Okay, I appreciate having you here. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, we'll see you.